Hi, my name is Chris Forbush. This is the second video for today, January 21st. Um, like I mentioned in the last video, I found a new way to do these. And I apologize right now if you guys hear some noise in the background. I've working on some stuff and I've got my family around. My little boy gets very curious. He always wants to have his part in it, and that's fine. But this is very important, so just want to share this with you. I'm now down into the last three books of this series. I'm going to try to get through them before the end of this video. Today's topic for encouragement for prosperity is called taxes. Don't we all love that? There is no art which one government sooner learns of other than that of draining the money from the pockets of the people. That was shared by Adam Smith. Time to come out of La La Land. The government is in worse debt than any of its citizens, into billions and trillions of dollars. This is a reality. Part of the recovering person's financial spending plan has to involve setting aside taxes. Who likes to pay them? No one that I know. But consider the alternative. Nothing has ever been achieved by negative concentration on unchangeable facts. That's government, unless you want to get involved in politics. So, the daily affirmation from this for today, please write this down. Keep them in their own little book. Go through the videos I've done before and just write them all down. It doesn't have to be in order. And just try to memorize them. They will do you some good. And I need to start taking that advice. I've tried it a little bit here and there, but mostly I focus on doing the videos. Today's is, today I will plan my finances and accept what has to be, always trusting in the wealth of the universe to provide. Again, that is, today I will plan my finances and accept what has to be, always trusting in the wealth of the universe to provide. I want to compliment on how funny it is. It's actually very true. It's painfully true. There is no art in which government sooner learns than other than that of draining the money from the pockets of the people. And it's this is a reality. The debt, the government's in billions and trillions of dollars of debt, but here we are. We're the ones that have to face this. We're the ones that have to pay it, and we have to accept that. You can't focus on the negative. I like how they say, this is the most important thing on the page, by the way, nothing has ever been achieved by negative concentration on unchangeable facts. Deal with it, right? Now you can sit there and think, I've got it so hard. My finances are just disgusting. They're out of line. I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to keep all my money for myself and just live it. But you know what? Believe me, that brings you down. Believe me, because if you spend money when you owe, you're actually spending other people's money, and there's nothing more rewarding as finances go than spending money that you've actually earned. Get your debts out of the way, and take these daily affirmations to advice, and focus on these principles in this book, and you will start to see some change. I know that I am. I've actually paid a lot of money to my bills this month alone in this new year, and I'm very shocked because I'm kind of lazy in the past. So I'm going to go into my daily reading of this One Year Bible. This is such a beautiful book. It breaks up 3 or 4 different books into daily readings. And I'm just going to go into this one right here. Psalm 18, 16 through 36. Now I might stop amongst the reading here and just comment on stuff and ramble about it. But he reached down from the heaven and rescued me. He drew me out of deep waters. He delivered me from my powerful enemies, and those who hated me and were too strong for me. They attacked me at a moment when I was weakest, but the Lord upheld me. He led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me. The Lord rewarded me for doing right. He compensated me because of my innocence. For I have always kept the ways of the Lord. I have not turned away from God to follow evil. For all his laws are constantly before me. I have never abandoned his principles. Can you say that? I can't. Whoever wrote this particular psalm, man, they've got integrity, I'll tell you that. And I think these are just things we need to live by. Obviously none of us are ever going to be perfect, never having turned away from God to follow evil. But man, wouldn't that be a principle or something to brand into your mind and actually focus on doing all the time. Think about it. You do these things. You always do what's right. You will be compensated for your innocence and rewarded for doing right. God's going to lead you to a place of safety because He delights in you. Yeah, He delights you too. But always follow in these things. Do not turn away from the God, and because His laws are always before you. You feel them in your heart. You don't need to read this book. God is going to reach out and talk to you every time. Some people call it conscience. Some people call it higher power. Some people call it universe. I call it Christ because I know what it is. I lost my place here, but for all His laws are constantly before me, I have never abandoned His principles. I am blameless before God. I have kept myself from sin. The Lord rewarded me for doing right, because of the innocence of my hands in His sight. To the faithful, show yourself faithful. To those with integrity, you show integrity. To the pure, you show yourself pure, but to the wicked, you show yourself hostile. You rescue those who are humble, but you humiliate the proud. Lord, you have brought light to my life. My God, you light up my darkness. I can attest for that, because I can look at the time before I started doing all this stuff, coming to God and saying, hey, look, God, I need you, I need your people. Man, my life was disgusting. It was a nightmare, I actually had a lot of nightmares. I'd wake up in the middle of the night screaming, And now, I'm at peace. I'm able to let things go that I would normally just have carried around for so long. But Christ is actually coming to my life and say, you know what, don't even worry about it, I got it. That's because I believe in Him. Christ will handle it. In your strength, I can crush an army. That, I want to put that on my arm somewhere, In your strength, I can crush an army. Who can do that? The Hulk can't even do it. He can smash two Hummers together, but think about it. Can you imagine being able to reach out there and just crush an army of darkness? Just poof. With my God, I can scale any wall. As for God, His way is perfect. All the Lord's promises prove true. You ever had anybody promise you anything that always came true? Satan sure pretends like it will. When he promises you all this good stuff, yeah, you do this. Just go ahead, live the way you want. Be who you want to be. Don't worry about God, man. I got it. You're going to have a good time. But the good times will backfire. But God's promises always prove true. That is real. And with God's promises always proving true and being able to crush an army and climb any wall, man, that's more than the devil could ever promise me. I'm not fooled. For who is our God except the Lord? Who but our God is a solid rock? God arms me with strength. He's made my way safe. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, leading me safely along the mountain heights. He prepares me for battle. He strengthens me to draw a bow of bronze. You have given me the shield of your salvation. Your right hand supports me. Your gentleness has made me great. And the last one, verse 36. You have made a wide path for my feet to keep them from slipping. All these things that Christ has done, all the promises that are made, the only thing He wants in exchange is for you to live His way and tell people about Him. I find it beautiful. I'm still stuck on crushing an army with His strength. I don't want to hurt anybody, but that's just a powerful thing to be promised. And all you have to do is have faith, and you have it. Down here in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7 through 10, it's called, getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do, and whatever else you do, get good judgment. If you prize wisdom, she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will place a heavenly wreath on your head. She will present you with a beautiful crown. My child, listen to me and do as I say, and you will have a long, good life. Gotta have the water. Just please comment on any of these scriptures we've covered. I'm going to try to get into a couple more books real quick. But I want to share with you a real quick testimony on how much the Word of God has done for me and how much just believing in Him has done for me. I've done a lot of things in my past, and the other day, I'm working on paying off some tickets, and I might actually have a warrant. Cop pulled up behind me, and I didn't say, hey, God, please just don't let me go to jail. Don't let him stop me. I just leaned back and took a big deep breath and let it go, and I said, God, I just want you to do your will. Whatever's supposed to happen, God, whatever your will is, just let it happen. I rolled on in faith, and Cobb didn't even bother me. He changed lanes and drove off. Granted, I am not an irresponsible criminal, but those are the things I should have handled, but I just asked for God to do His will, and I carried on safely and securely. I'm going to read from the book called Easy Does It. Today's topic is called Honesty. Honesty is the best policy, and that came from Cervantes. How grateful we became when we moved out of the shadows from our past. Our program asked us to be honest. We found that the truth shone a bright light on our road to recovery. We could see all the little ways we had shaded the truth to serve our own ends. We could also see the awful pain this truth twisting had caused us. We discovered there's really no such thing as a half-truth. There's either a truth or a lie. Honesty is the bedrock of a life of recovery. Without honesty, we lose our contact with our higher power. Without our higher power, we will lose our shield from our addiction. Without our shield, we are hopelessly vulnerable to relapse. We are asked to be honest in all our affairs. This means we are careful to think before we speak and to guard against exaggeration. This is the daily affirmation from this particular book. Something you might want to write down. I'll say it twice. You can stop the video, write it down, whatever you need to do. But this is very important. At the conclusion of each day, I review my actions and ask myself if I have been honest in all I have said and done. Honesty in my recovery takes practice, so I practice as if my life depends on it. It does. I'm not always honest in everything I do, though I should be. It's little white lies. I think I've kind of evolved and moved on from the great big huge horrible gaping wounds that I'm trying to cover up with band-aids, pretending that everything's okay. But here we are, we're faced with the reality of a lifetime of mistakes. We're sinners, and we are offered salvation if we're honest and we do God's will. I think this is just important. If you're trying to get out of addictions, you're trying to defeat your demons and get away from drinking, smoking, popping pills, whatever it is that you had a problem with, you have to be honest. You have to say, to somebody, hey, look, this is what I've done. I've stolen from you. I need to make it right. Or, you admit to something that you have done that nobody knows about, that you've done them wrong, and they're trying to figure out who it was. You will not believe how much better that feels. Even if they are angry with you, they will understand that you respected them enough to tell them the truth. And honesty is more valuable than any gem in the world. There's not a value you can place on it. To be honest with you, I think honesty is so crucial. It's kind of evaporated in this world, as the heat's been applied and pressure is on with economic stress. There's all kinds of stuff going on that people use as an excuse to do things wrong and become dishonest. But you hold on to that policy, and you maintain it, you'll find yourself pleased with yourself, and how grateful we became when we moved out of the shadows of our past, walking away from the darkness into the light. One of the most important things you can do. If you ever had a bad dream, and you wake up and you're just terrified, you're shaking, you can't believe that it was even real, and then you run to the light, you flip the light switch on, and how all the demons, the scary things, the monsters, the bad energies are gone. That's kind of how I see coming to God and asking for help with my addiction. A lot of people are going to say, hey, you can get sober without God. I know a lot of people who are straight edge and they're atheists, and they think they're safe, their lives are set. But my opinion is I can't really improve my life and defeat these addictions without God in my life. Being honest with Him is one thing that is mandatory, because I can say, hey, God, I've got it. I don't drink or anything like that, but you don't ask for help to defeat the damage done through using the drugs and alcohol, or whatever other addictions you have, be it gambling, porn, any of that kind of stuff. Come from the darkness into the light. God is the light. Come to Him. And those videos have been kind of all over the place. The last two have been, but I'm just working on some things, and you'll definitely see some improvements. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch these. It's so important to me. And I'm really, really hoping that I'm doing some good for you. Please leave your questions, suggestions, whatever. Check out my Facebook. All the information's in the video description. God bless you. Stay sober.